What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me on another episode of Twisted Wrench Garage. Today, I'd like to go ahead and get my gauge cluster pulled out and get that updated. It's definitely dim. If you guys have ever owned one of these trucks, you know that the lights are dim, it's hard to see at night. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to be driving this truck at night, but I do want the option to be able to see my gauge cluster. So let's go ahead and take a look at the parts I ordered. First off, I went ahead and went to LMC and I ordered a white face gauge kit. It was $29.95. I'll put the parts number down in the description. With shipping and all that, it was like $40, so not too bad. I also went ahead and I'm not doing the same thing as a couple other people have done. I've seen on some Dodge groups, and I do want to thank those guys for this idea. They use the aluminum tape for ducting and those kind of things. What I'm going to try is some of this Art Project Get Stuck on Creativity. It was $2.99 at Hobby Lobby. Definitely got some reflection to it. Should do the same thing as what theirs is doing. I did go ahead and pick up 2 packs of LED bulbs. They were like $11.99 each. That way I'd have enough to change out all the bulbs in the dash as well. I did go ahead and pick up some fluorescent orange paint so I can repaint the needles if I can get those off without damaging anything. I got a set of brushes, $5.99, also Hobby Lobby. They're just detail brushes so I can get finer lines on there. The other thing I picked up just the other day was a silver metallic paint pen. On the actual overlay in my truck, the silver on it is actually worn off on quite a bit of spots. It's been beat up a little bit. It isn't the original one that was in it when I got it. I did replace that, and I do have that one up on the wall. That one is in a little bit better shape, but they did cut out a section of where the storage box is on that overlay. But I eventually do hope to get like an aftermarket stereo installed on this truck, so I'll probably will go back to that one and cut out the rest of that box and, you know, kind of do all that stuff. We can go over that when I get to that point. But let's go ahead and get the garage door shut. I'll turn the lights on. I'll show you guys what they look like now, and then you guys watch till the end. You guys will get to see what they look like after. Yeah, if you guys see that, it's really dim. I mean, in some parts it's bright, some parts it's really dim. And that's why we're going to go ahead and do this upgrade to this dash today. So let's get the truck pulled out. Let's start taking some stuff apart. Alright, first things first, let's disconnect the battery. Negative cable first. I've already got it loose. Alright, so let's move to the inside. Alright guys, let's get this overlay taken off here and then we can get to our gauge cluster. All you should need is just a Phillips head screwdriver right now. Alright, so let's get these screws pulled out of here. I believe mine is missing one. Your guys might be missing one or two as well. Happens with age. These trucks are old. Alright. Get all these screws taken out and we'll be able to get a better look at what we're dealing with here. There isn't one there. I'm missing that one. I believe the clip is broken. There's that one. That should be all the screws. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, and there will be clip here, my clip here that will pop out, and I believe there is another one over here as well. But then what you want to do is you want to push down just a little bit, pull it out very gently, get it over your buttons, and you want to pull it out at an angle just like this, and that should let you get it free without breaking anything. Set that aside, we'll take that with us here in just a little bit. On the gauge cluster here, mine screw has busted out of there. So let's get this one here. Should be 6 screws total holding this thing. 7, no, maybe 8. Well, I'll look at it. Yeah, there's 7. There's one. Yeah, this one's pretty crusty. You can see a little bit of damage on it from when the previous owner or whoever had it before me decided they wanted to cut out that box. Okay. And that's number 6. I'm missing one, which I believe I do have one that should fit it. Yep, that one will fit it. So we'll use that one on it. We'll set these aside here. Don't just go in here and just yank it out and try to yank it out of here. You're gonna break something. So just be gentle. This plastic is real old. You'll have a couple of connections in the back. You might have to reach from this side over here to get them out. There's gonna be a speedometer cable hooked up to it, which just has like a little push clip on it. You just push it, it should pop right off. Oh, there you go. There it went. Alright, so then we got a bulb here, which should be my right turn signal, which we will change that one to an LED. Alright. I have to unplug this. There we go. You guys want to be gentle with all these connections because you break all this stuff. It's a little hard to find sometimes. No, actually, I think I told you wrong, guys. This one, the one that has a bulb that comes out, I believe that is for the brake light. But I believe I've got almost everything disconnected. One more. Maybe that is turn signals. Open gate, engine maintenance. Okay, so the 2 bulbs that are in the dash. Yeah, I'm still learning stuff too. But the two bulbs that are in the dash go to open gate and engine maintenance. Alright, so we got that out. My speedometer stopped working the other day, so I'm kind of curious if it's the speedometer. Okay, so it's not the speedometer because I can spin the speedometer with a screwdriver and it work. So let me twist you guys around here and I'll show you. If you're not sure if it's working or not, there is a little thing in there you can put a screwdriver on. And if you look at the gauge, you can see when I spin it, it moves. So that is working. So I think my speedometer cable has gone bad. So we're going to have to go up to O'Reilly's and grab another one of those if they have one. And a lot of times you can just pull the center section out of these and replace them, but I don't know if this one is going to be worth it. Alright, now that we got that out, let's go ahead and get you guys moved into a better spot. And we'll take apart this gauge and start getting to work. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull the bulbs out first. There's the little black tabs that are sticking out. You just twist and remove. Set those aside. We'll change those bulbs later. Alright. The other tools you're going to need is a 9/32 nut driver or wrench, socket wrench, and a 3/8 wrench or socket wrench as well. You just want to remove all of these little metal screws here, or nuts, sorry. And it doesn't take much. You want to make sure you don't over tighten these back down whenever you put them back in, because you'll break your board on the back here. Your deal, your gauge. As you can see, they're just little silver nuts. I'm just loosening them for now. I'm not taking them all the way out because we want to get this front cover off, and we will get that cleaned up as well. And these are the 9/32. We did go ahead and get a hold of O'Reilly's. They didn't have a speedometer cable in stock, but we did go ahead and have it ordered. Should be there in the next couple hours. They said around 2:30 or so my time. Be very careful when you guys are pulling this stuff off. I believe that this just pops off that little odometer reading knob. Should just pull off. Alright, screws off. I'm sorry. It unthreads off normal threads, lefty loosey. Alright. Now we can get this cover off. Mine has a little crack in it, but I'm not going to complain. It still works. We'll set that aside. We'll clean that after. Then there is another piece that comes out. This section. Watch how much you touch on this, because it will leave fingerprints everywhere, and there is some foam stuff on the back of these that gets everywhere if you touch it. So be aware of that as well. So we'll set that aside. And now we can go ahead and remove the rest. Oh, I just found the needle to my selector, gear selector. So I'm going to try to fix that. It's a good little find, because that was busted. Alright, and the gauges will come out of the front, guys. Alright, so we'll just loosen them by hand. And these gauges will pop out one by one. Alright, so there's one, the DC gauge. Go ahead and pull that out. We'll set that aside. And now the temperature gauge. And some of these will have little copper washers behind them, so you guys need to keep that in mind. Those need to go back in their original spots. So just to show you guys, this one here, which is on the temperature gauge, okay, will have a our little copper washer on the back of it. You can make sure that that goes back in order. Okay. Keep those together. Now our temperature gauge will want to come out. Oh, that one had 2 on it. So I guess if we lose one, we've got an extra. It looks like these have them as well. So we'll go ahead and get this gauge out. Be very careful with these guys. Very careful. You don't want to break anything. There goes our temperature gauge. We'll set that aside. We're going to set them how they were in the gauge over here on the side. That way. We know how they go back in. And it's going to be pretty dirty in this thing. There'll be stuff falling all out of it probably. The speedo gauge, that is held in by 9/32 bolts as well. So we'll get those here in a second. Alright, so this one also has a little brass or copper little washer on the back. Looks like it also has 2. I guess that's not uncommon for this. Alright, there's that. Now we're going to be pulling out the fuel gauge. There. We need to remove the oil pressure gauge as well. It has copper little washers on it too. All of them but that first one had them, it looks like, which is odd. So I'm going to be moving a couple of these extras over to that way. We know that's not causing any issues. Oh, there went that gauge. It just fell right out. There we go. That side as well. Alright, then the board, guys, just kind of falls right off, so you want to be careful. It's a little dirty. We'll get it wiped off. I'll show you what I use to clean that. Alright. There's some little caps for the lights in the corners. Set those aside. Two more for the flashers. Now we're ready to remove the speedometer cable, or speedometer. And that's held in by 2 9/32 screws there. Be very careful with this because it has a really long stand that it's screwed into. I don't want to break that. There's those two. And the speedometer should just come right out. Boom. And now, then you're just left with a empty case, except for that gear selector, which you remove with 2 Phillips heads. Which, and then you need to go get one of those. That was on the speedometer. Okay. Little black thing. This thing does come out, so don't want to lose that. Alright, so do need to go get a Phillips head, so let me go grab that. Alright, got the screwdriver. Sorry about that. And this is the one we're going to try to repair. Because the needle is broken and my gear selector does not work. I have some super glue that I'll attempt to fix that with. It's really common, a little needle breaks off of them. But I do have it, so hopefully we can glue that back on. Alright. Oof, she's a bit dirty. Grab this rag and we're going to wipe this out of here. Definitely dirty. I'm too worried about all the dust because it's gonna get dusty again. I use it and drive this truck all the time. Alright. Now, I'll go ahead and work at getting this tape on. Probably gonna have to get up again because I forget everything. Alright, putting the tape in. I may speed this process up on your guys' end, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Alright, there we go. We got the whole inside covered in this reflective tape. Didn't go all the way up, but I got as much covered as I could. So, and I think the next step, we're going to set this aside. We're going to start working on our gauges. So I think the first thing I want to do before I put the white face gauges on, just so I don't get any paint on them, just go ahead and paint these needles. see about getting this needle put back on here. Okay. Some really good water stuff bottles. I really like these things. Called Circle. Not sponsored by them, but by any means. But I do drink a lot of water, and it makes it a little bit easier for myself to drink some water without having to use those little packets. Because this right here is its flavor, and then you just change it out, and then you're ready to go. And you can set the flavor adjusting between 0 and 10 on them. It's really a nice rig. Let's take a look at this, see how she dried. Okay. It's gonna need, oh, it just busted. Well, isn't that awesome? Well, poopies. And the needle just came off. Alright, well, I guess this ain't gonna work for me. So I guess I'm gonna skip this part for now, the park selector, until I can find another one. If one of you guys in YouTube world, guys or gals in YouTube world, have one of these park selectors that is in good shape and still operational, let me know down in the comments below, and I will also grab that for you. And keep in mind, I'm still looking for one of those dome light covers for the interior of the truck for I'm assuming a 71 to 93 year should work on it. So if you have one of those, let me know down in the comments. Let's get some of these parts in, and that way I can get it back to where it should be. So we're just gonna set that aside for now. I'm not gonna put that back into the cluster for now. We do have all of the gauges drying for their second coat. Let's go ahead and work on getting some of these bulbs changed out. Bulbs in here. 194 bulbs is what those were, guys. The original incandescent 194 bulbs, and you're changing to the LED style. So let's set those aside. Put our cap on our super glue here. We're gonna need that again. Okay. Let's start with Speedo. It's the biggest one. And these are just stickers, guys. What they say is to take it, you want to feed your needle through the center hole as you're going on. Be careful though, because it will stick. Guys, I just got back from O'Reilly's. We did go ahead and get our speedometer cable, but on ours it is a two-piece because some of them had cruise control, and this one looks like it may have had cruise control at one point in time, but I don't believe so. But this one is in two pieces, so I went ahead and got one piece off, and it will have a little rubber bushing in the firewall that you're going to want to keep. And what I did was I took a little pair of snips like this, and I just cut it right down on the side so I can slip it over the new one and put that one in. So let's go ahead and get underneath the truck and let's get the rest of this one taken off, and we'll throw the new one on. Alright, let's get ourselves underneath here. Our speedometer cable is right here. Just hoping that I got the right one, which it doesn't look like I do. So I'm gonna try something. Give me 1 second. It wouldn't fit underneath because it's a bigger size. It's the smaller one. I do believe that this is the same size as it goes to this little mid adapter. So we're gonna go ahead and slap it on that. Alright guys, as you can see, I got this new speedometer cable pushed through and through the little slot that it's supposed to be in. I do have a little extra given myself so I can have a little more room to plug things in. But let's get all this put back together. Well, hold on. Before we can do that, there's two more bulbs I need to replace, which is these two here. So if you give me 1 second, I'm gonna go grab those real fast. Got the two bulbs. We'll get those changed out real fast. There's one, two. I'm actually going to change out a couple of these other bulbs too, I think. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Alright, let's get it pulled into the garage. Alright guys, there you go. New gauges are in. Not necessarily new gauges, but the white face overlays are in. The LEDs are in. I did go ahead and have to pull this back apart and pull out the little blue little covers that were in the middle here and over here, because it was showing blue on like half of the gauge and then the other half was just white. So I went ahead and pulled all that out, or pulled those two things out of there, and now we've got it looking really good. I mean, you can definitely see the difference. All right, guys, we just got back from a little test drive. I wanted to check and see if that speedometer was working, see if that cable fixed that. Unfortunately, it didn't. We will go ahead and get that ordered from O'Reilly's here at some other point. I'll worry about that later. But we did get done what we set out to get done today. We got the white face overlay installed. We got the new LEDs installed. We got that reflective tape put inside that gauge cluster. We repainted the trim all along the bezel. Like I said, guys, it made a huge difference. Night and day difference, guys. But I do appreciate you guys sticking in there with me. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe button. Go ahead and throw a comment down below if you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for joining me, guys and gals. You guys have a good day.